Assalamu alaikum. I received this question. I'm going to read out the question and share my advice. Assalamu alaikum, Amirah. I'm a man, age 33. I'm looking for your help in letting me know foods to eat for a better, stronger, harder erection, and lastly, lasting longer in bed too. And how can I take care of my penis health? Apologies for this question. Okay, so in terms of foods, this is something that anyone can research, but I wouldn't recommend necessarily focusing on just specific foods just so that you can have a better, stronger, harder erection. I would say focus more generally on your health in the broad sense of health. I don't just mean physical health, I mean literally all the different aspects of health, be it your mental health, your emotional health, yes, your physical health, but also your spiritual health and the health of your relationship with your wife within your marriage. So when it comes to things like nutrition, think more broadly about how can I take care of my health through nourishing my body well. We know in Islam there are certain foods that the Prophet ﷺ ate, so certain sunnah foods. I would recommend incorporating those into your nutrition and into your diet. Thinking in terms of incorporating more vegetables, more fruits, good healthy sources of carbohydrates, good healthy sources of fats, good healthy sources of protein. Include those into your nutrition and your diet, because when you focus on improving your overall health, that will help you in terms of your erection too. In terms of lasting longer in bed, the things that I've already mentioned will also help with that. But what is important to understand is to get to know the root cause of potentially why you might not be lasting long in bed. It also depends on what your definition is of lasting longer, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to read out an extract from this book. The book is called Intimacy, a guide for young men about sex, and there is a chapter called, it's chapter 47 in this book. The author of this book is Ben Dunks. The chapter 47 is specifically on premature ejaculation, and I just want to put out there what the average time is for a man to last during penetrative sex. So the average amount of time a man lasts while having penetrative sex, meaning the penis is in the vagina, the average amount of time is 2.5 minutes, not 20 minutes, not 2 hours. So that's important in order to give you context, because when you think of penetration, that is providing a lot of stimulation to the penis for the man. And so naturally, most men are not going to last 2 hours, okay? And so it's important to try and understand, like, where does this idea come from in terms of lasting longer? If it is a lot less than 2.5 minutes and it's something that is really bothering you, I would recommend going and speaking to your healthcare professional or your doctor about it. I know that there are some forms of medication that can help with things like premature ejaculation, but what really affects premature ejaculation are things like what we are exposing ourselves to in terms of what we are looking at online, what we are looking at on social media, whether or not we're consuming porn, the types of movies that we're watching. So there's so many different things to consider. But going back to what I mentioned earlier, if you are taking care of your overall health, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and the health of your relationship, that will really help with your ability to last longer. Bearing in mind the average amount of time that I shared from this book is 2.5 minutes. Now, I do want to also mention that it's okay if you ejaculate too quickly, as long as you still focus on satisfying your wife sexually in a different way, even without penetration. And you also need to ask yourself, what is the reason that you want to last longer? Is it just to kind of boost your own ego, or is there a genuine need within the relationship, in the marriage, for you to last longer, such as in terms of satisfying your wife sexually, or is it just for your own ego's sake? So that's something to really ask yourself, because we know in Islam, we try to kind of suppress the ego in a sense where we don't just become a slave to it, because based on what we see online again, or things we see outside, we kind of feed our ego with this idea of like what the so-called masculine man is in terms of how long he lasts in bed. But a lot of that doesn't come from Islam. What does come from Islam is the priority that there is within marriage to satisfy the wife sexually, and also for the man to be sexually satisfied as well. So as long as you are sexually satisfied and you are doing whatever you can to satisfy your wife too, then that's fine, regardless of how long you last in terms of how long until you ejaculate. But as mentioned, if you need to go and speak to a healthcare professional about it, you can. The other part of your question is in terms of taking care of the health of your penis. This comes under, again, broadly thinking about health, making sure you're cleaning yourself, so you're maintaining good hygiene, having good nutrition, regularly incorporating movement into your life. So whether it's strength training or cardio training, so being active, being healthy can really make a difference to your cardiovascular health, which also impacts the health of your penis, and just making sure you're being clean down there and you're not having multiple sexual partners. That sort of thing is very important to take care of the health of your penis. I want to mention to anyone listening to this, I have a course where I talk in a lot more depth about how to overcome premature ejaculation, how to overcome erectile dysfunction. Basically, the course is set up so that any man can take the course, whether he's single or married. So for a single man, he might have certain worries about intimacy before he gets married. He might not know much about it, and he kind of wants to prepare himself so that when he's married, he knows and understands things, especially in terms of knows how to satisfy his future wife. So I recommend it for single men, but I also recommend it for married men, as there are a lot of lessons in the course that can help you with overcoming any insecurities you have or any difficulties, sexual struggles that you may be having within the marriage. So if you're interested in the course, check out the link in the description below. I'll also leave a coupon code so that you can get a 50% discount on the course.